Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. Welcome to a little bit of main account progress and some changes we've made to the bank and some other stuff and a little bit of a mini ramble as well. So the first thing we're going to go and show in this video is that for the second time this year, I'm going to complete a 200 mil skill. Now woodcutting has been a great AFK the past couple of weeks. It's been something I've been able to do while editing, doing other projects, and it's been just a nice thing to have sort of in terms of progress on the side while I've been doing some other stuff. Now, we are currently a total of 24,000 XP from 200 mil woodcutting, and with this Eternal Magical Branch, we are then going to complete it and get our second 200 mil of the year. Now, what we'll probably do, I actually didn't get it, so we'll continue woodcutting, typical. I thought you got a lot more XP than that, but we are, there we go, finished and 200 mil woodcutting XP, which is really nice. Again, really enjoyed this skill. It's really been a nice AFK to go and do, but in terms of what we're going to do next, so the next thing we're going to be doing in terms of AFK time and stuff, I'm still trying to stock up on things like my Eternal Magical Bows, the staffs, and also Star Bloom. That's been something I've been focusing on the past couple of weeks, and what we did the video on, sort of focusing on what my AFK time is. But I think an important thing to do is have a look in the bank, and we're sort of 6 months off proteins vanishing. And if you see by my bank, I have quite a considerable stack of these. So I think the next thing I'm going to kind of move into is targeting my proteins. I'm kind of in the middle really. I think that the protein traps are going to be some of the best ones to target first because it will give me a big chunk towards 200 mil hunter. I was debating doing the protein hides, but with Star Bloom crafting, that kind of means that these aren't as important as what they were. The divination ones are going to be pretty good, going to be nice. You have to be at the rift now as well, so I'll do some community divination for that. But I think for the first big go, we're going to go and target protein traps. Now, because of the API coming and the construction update as well, which has just happened this week, it happened 2-3 days ago, what I'm going to go invest in is going to be some big pages. Now, the really big idea behind this is that with the Hunter protein traps especially, you do get a fair amount of procs with the big book and with the API as well update coming into the game. That should be very handy for clue scrolls. The one on the old school game is very good at sort of directing you, telling you where to go and stuff like that. And with the things like the Nexus and the Fairy Ring and the Spirit Tree all being in your house, the clue scroll process should be quite streamlined, which I think now is a good reason to go and stack up on even more clue scrolls. Now, at 4.9 mil, big pages are still expensive, and I think they always will be. So we'll go and pick some of these up, and then we can go and do a little bit of Hunter. So that is going to be my AFK skill for a little bit. I will hop between Hunter and all the Eternal stuffs as well. But it's just something to do in the meantime while I'm trying to chip away at these proteins. That's going to be my focus really for the rest of the year. I think I've got enough AFK time with how much I play now as well to sort of like get myself through the rest of this year with these proteins. And it just means that I've used them to their max capability. I've got my most XP from them as well. And to be fair, the skills I can use them on are pretty handy. It makes them as AFK as possible. Like the real big AFKs I've got left is smithing, mining, divination to a point as well is also pretty AFK. And I imagine like combat's pretty good for an AFK skill as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am in terms of my skilling side. 200 mil woodcutting is a massive one. And I do have a feeling I might be able to squeeze another 1 or 2 this year in terms of 200 mil. Prayer's about 150, that could definitely get there. I was debating construction, but now they've kind of messed around with Fort Free. I'm not too sure. Fishing and cooking, I'm waiting for the update for them to get to 120 or 110 or whatever level they decide. But I'll be able to get a decent chunk of XP towards max total with those proteins. So that is going to be me. I'll probably be in World 84 now for the foreseeable. Just chipping away and just getting that to XP. But another 200 mil is really nice. We've got a nice little chain of 4 here. Now, something else which I've done on the main account, which I've not really shown you guys or I've not really mentioned. Excuse the tab bugging out as well. It's the game or my laptop. I'm not sure which one it is. But without having to tidy it up, I have done a little bit of an overhaul on the combat tab. I've spent some money, which when it comes to the combat tab and stuff like this, I'm not always the first to go get the high level gear, but I thought, you know what, it's got to a point now where it's been so long since I've had like the best tier of like combat stuff. I thought, you know what, let's go and spend some money, let's go and do some upgrades. So some of the things that I have bought is the Vestment of the Havoc. That's the full vestment, as well as a Masterwork 2H, which is actually a very nice weapon actually. The ability to get a little bit of healing from it is very, very nice. This is my new melee setup now with the enhanced gloves of passage. I've done a bit of like AFK and Vindictor and stuff like that. Really, really nice actually. Really good way to go in AFK some GP. And I see why a lot of people are doing it at the minute. I see a lot of people getting the God Wars 2 stuff, but it's just because it's so AFK. Stick around on the channel because I'll definitely be going to go and camp those and do some AFK videos on those as well. Not only that, I've also picked up a Bow of the Last Guardian. Of course, because I bought it, it is now crashed like 20%. But you know what? We've finally made the purchase, which is really nice. I am going to go and buy the Dracolith. I was debating between Dracolith or Masterwork, but I think Dracolith's going to be better. So that will actually be my upgrade to the mage setup. And then finally, I have sold my Staff of Sliske. And I've gone for the Inquisitor's Staff, only because, like, with the kind of monsters I'm probably going to go mage, the Inquisitor's Staff is a little bit better than the Staff of Armadillo. The Staff of Armadillo is actually crashing a little bit as well, so maybe in the future we'll go and upgrade to the Staff of Armadillo. But for what I need currently, that is what we're going to go for, is the Inquisitor's Staff. I can actually do some Zamorak to go and get the Slivers, so maybe that's something we're going to do with that for a little bit in the future. But that is pretty much going to be the combat tab. There's a lot of outdated items here, which my plan is to go and get rid of them and phase them out the bank. There's just stuff in here which really isn't worth the time or really isn't worth having. So when I clean my bank out, I might do a bit of a review, because there's so much stuff in my bank which is actually worth money, which I've just either bought for a video or bought because I thought it was cheap. So for an example, in this tab, for no reason, I've just got like 32,000 Black Dragon Hide, which when you price check it, you just have a random like 100, maybe more mil just sat there for no reason. So yeah, there's 52 mil. So these are really cheap. That's probably why I bought them, because I was going to throw them in my high tanner in terms of machine and make that into a video. But do you know what I mean? You have like so many items you just throw in your bank over time that eventually you're going to have a lot of cash stowed away for no reason. Like, that's the big plan really, is to do things like Silver Drop tab, go into my Necromancy tab as well, which I made one of these like when Necromancy was first released like 3 years ago. And I still have a big stack of bones here. I have a lot of cash sort of stored up. So my goal before like sort of the end of leagues, when I want to come back and play again, is to have this bank cleaned out, streamlined and looking better as well. So in terms of the skills we're going to go for, we're going to go and do some Hunter. In terms of the gear tab, we've spent a fair bit of money, probably about 4 bill, on a weapon, some new armor sets and stuff like that. And then at some point I've got to go and get the perks as well, which again, a little bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. And really the goal for this camp for the rest of the year is just to go and do as many sort of like 200 mil skills as possible, but also jump into PVM. I mention this every year whenever we do the bank video, is that PVM could be a really good bit of content. And I want to start doing more of it. And that was the sort of emphasis on like going to buy some better gear. So definitely stick out for that. In terms of the house video is going to come out very soon as well. I think it'd be a really cool video to show you guys like what my house is, what my setup is, why I've gone for that as well. But I'm not at a point yet where I've made it. I've waited a couple of days, and to be fair, it's kind of paid off, because a lot of the items which were in such high demand when this was first released have gone down quite a bit. The prices for a lot of the stuff for construction really didn't hold on. But again, once you've kind of built the items, you don't really need to build them again. So a lot of people did the rush to build the houses, kit the houses out however they wanted. And then now they don't really need it. So they're not really after it either. But for me, I'm going to go pretty big. I think it's definitely going to be worth the investment, is to go and get all the different portals and stuff. The jewelry box as well is going to be really, really nice. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're currently sat for that. I do think clue scrolls especially are going to be really good with this house, as well as PVM, but that's going to be something we'll talk about when we do the housing video as well. But that's pretty much where the main account's been. We are still doing like money makers and stuff, and the main account still picks up a fair bit of GP from those videos. I know I don't really show it because I always try and sell the items for as much as possible and leave them in the Grand Exchange. But whenever we do like different money makers, we do make cash. Like, we do sell things eventually on the Grand Exchange, and they do sell for the kind of profit which we wanted to. So for an example, when we did the construction video, the gold leaf had a massive margin, which is why I don't think this is fully sold. But the magic stones all sold for 100k. I've been checking out the refined plank prices as well, because these look cheap. Like 15,000 coins from refined magic planks does look cheap. And I imagine at some point Jagex is going to go and look at amending the rates for free construction. I think 20% is too aggressive. But also as well, when it's on a double XP, you're still going to want to do free construction because it's AFK. Something else, finally, to wrap the video up, what I made from construction. So this is probably, I don't know, 50 mil XP worth. And the reason why I'm selling them is just because the price is high. I've kind of missed out on doing 50 mil by not selling them on release. That's a bit of a mistake on my part. I forgot to do it. But 256 mil from something I was just simply AFKing really isn't too bad. I will buy a massive stack of these back because I use them for the Eternal Magical Bows and all the other stuff as well. Just once they've crashed down a bit, I think that now the hype's come with Eternal Magic Planks. Now that people have gone and done their construction upgrades, I think these will go down to about 2.5k. And I'll buy them back at some point as well. But yeah, that's going to wrap the video up. Some other minor things I'll do, which again, I'll talk through you guys when we do some videos. I'm still doing auto alchers in terms of my machines. They're just simply having onyx bolts in them, and they're just producing whenever I remember to do them. I also as well have a lot of Juju potions stored from when I did like 99 Hunter. I have 8,000 Draconic Vines. I have a decent amount of Marble Vines as well. And I have a lot of the clean herbs. So at some point I will go and make those. So what I like to do with my Juju potions, I do it in stints. And then I just put them in for a high price and just wait for them to sell, because eventually they will sell. It just depends when there's an update which kind of pops them up in price. Or if there's a low volume organic change, they will sell occasionally as well. However, that's just a little ramble of where the main account is. I think with all the series and stuff and all the money making videos, the main account kind of gets lost in the shuffle because it just does the money making videos. It doesn't really do anything else. But whenever I'm doing some downtime, whenever I'm playing the other accounts, I always try and keep this account AFKing something, just sheerly for the points of progress. And because I don't have to pay too much attention to it, I think it's worth it as well. But for the meantime, now that woodcutting is finished, Hunter's going to be the next one. We've got 40 mil to go there. I do think these hunter traps are going to be something like 800 XP each. So they're going to give me a massive chunk towards like the next 200 mil. And I really think that if we get close enough to where it could go to 200 mil, we can go and convert some of the other stuff, because there's some of the other proteins where I don't think they're worth doing. Like crafting, I'm a bit hit and miss on whether it's worth doing, because like Starbloom, I can do that. It's way more AFKable and I can possibly make profit. Same with the bars as well. Like normal smithing is so AFK that why do I really need protein bars? And like fire making, I could just do sharp shell shards for probably more XP and more AFK ability as well. You can do sharp shell shards in batches of 60, so it's way more AFK. And I could sort of fund the other things as well rather than that. But I don't know. We'll see how we go. We'll see if it decides to break me or not. But for Hunter, I still need to get Ace as well. So as a pet, I do need to go and hunt. So maybe there might be a little bit of a stint of some pet hunting. Maybe I might do a little bit of big game hunter. But that's going to wrap that video up. Let me know what you guys are doing on your main accounts. What are you targeting? What are your goals? What are you aiming for? And what skills are you training? But thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. If you have, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. See you guys very soon in the next video.